Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Mornings with Marit here in December for the holidays. And obviously, today we're going to be talking about how to keep people merry and bright. And we're thrilled to have some guests with us. And before I introduce them, I just want to remind you we do have a Facebook page. So we hope you'll come join us and join the conversation and be part of it. And so today I'm actually really excited. There's some great ideas that we're seeing agents do and carriers do that I hope you'll pick up and apply them over the next couple weeks and into the new year with your organizations. So with that, I'm going to start with Tommy Dyes is with us today. Tommy's with Bryan Insurance in Graham, Texas. And so, Tommy, can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. Thank you, Marit, and good morning to Marit, Gerald, and Cindy, and also to all those listening today. Like Marit said, I'm with Bryan Insurance Agency. I've been here almost 20 years. They keep letting me come back every day, so I'm appreciative of that. We're in a small town of Graham, Texas. We do business all over Texas and in a number of other states. We're a member of Combined Agents of America, and I have been through Marit's OpEx class a couple of times. I didn't get it right the first time, so she invited me back for a repeat. But I'm excited to be here and learn a little bit from the other panelists as well.
Great. Thank you, Tommy. And then we have Cindy, and I don't know if I can say your entire name, but we'll go with Cindy Hurlis. Cindy, can you give us a little bit of background with you with Central Insurance?
Sure. First of all, thanks, Marit, and thanks to everybody who's joined us this morning. I work for Central Insurance Companies, and we're a carrier based in Ohio, but we do operate in 26 states and, of course, the great state of Texas. And we're definitely big supporters of the Texas Big I and everything that you wonderful people do. Central's been around for about 144 years. I've worked with this team for the past 18. Spent my previous life in manufacturing. So had good fortune answering the phone one day and said, when you get tired of manufacturing, there's all these wonderful people that work in insurance. So come join us and create a great operations team. So I had that good fortune about 18 years ago. One of the big reasons why I love working at our company is, culture is everything. We say that all the time. And it's a group of people that really, really believe in relationships, integrity, and excellence. So as do all of you. So great to join you. Thanks.
Great, Cindy. I always forget you and I share that background in
Yeah.
manufacturing. And the OpEx program that Tommy's gone through is all about that continuous improvement, lean methodology. So it has some nice connecting the dots there. So thank you for joining us. And then, of course, many of you know Gerald. So I don't think he needs much of an introduction. Gerald, can you tell us a little bit about you and State Auto?
Yes. Well, Mara, thank you for the invitation to join you. Again, I'm Gerald Ladner, VP of Strategic Agent Partnerships and External Affairs. I've been in the industry 39 years. Thank God I don't look like it. But the thing that's so interesting about our industry is that it's resilient, and we've faced shocks in the past. And as we face all that we are having to deal with in 2020, the good news is there's a lot of positive things that are in place. State Auto will be celebrating its 100th anniversary in 2021. And having positioned ourselves with a digital platform and having product management for our personal lines, commercial lines, farm and ranch, and workers' compensation, Texas is becoming a bigger and bigger state for us. We're number 2 in the whole company. And guess what? State Auto may well have to move their headquarters to Texas. We're playing such a big role in our growth. This is a time of reflection, and it's also a time we have to take a hard look, as Cindy pointed out, our cultures. During times like these, cultures make the difference between whether or not a carrier accelerates their growth or they decelerate. And thanks to all the good work of our independent agents, including CAA, we thank you for all the business that you guys have given us, and we look forward to competing effectively in 2021.
Great. Thank you, Gerald. Well, now we're going to try and get our agents involved here a little bit. So for those of you who know me and have done texting before, we'd like you to participate with this. And so to get started, if you'll text, I'm going to do it too, just to make sure it works, to the phone number 607, and in it just type in win21 and hit send. And you should get a text back from me that says, thank you for joining. We're going to find out if this works. It's always fun to do it on a webinar when you can't quite see what's happening, but we're going to see if this works. And Gerald and you guys, can you do it as well? One of you, to just make sure it's working for you guys. We'll give it just a second while people text in and get started. So we're going to ask a few questions to try and get your participation as well. So texting to the phone number 37607, and we'll go ahead and type in the words win21, hit send, and then we should be off to the races. And I've gotten a couple of text messages from guests that it's working. Perfect. Okay. Figure if Gerald can do this, we can all do this. So you're my litmus test there, Gerald. I'm just kidding. All right. Okay. Let's move on. So this is the first question we're going to ask, and this is a one-word answer or a hyphenated answer. And what's important to you during these holidays? And if you'll text those words in, like I said, one word, hyphenated, and we'll see. And if you like somebody's word, you can text it again. And the more we see, the bigger it will get if it's been in more than once or twice. So we'll just give it a second here. And these are the themes then, Gerald and Cindy and Tommy, that we think will be important as we walk through our exercise today. So family's a big one, obviously, being together, our health, worship, joy. We'll just give this a second as people participate. So up on the top, if you just joined us, there's instructions for how you can participate in this. And we'll just give it a minute while it comes through. I'm pleased to see family still there, since everybody's been stuck at home with their family this whole time. They might have actually said it could have been something else at this point. So I know
maybe that's why stressing is also in there, Marit.
Nobody says eating, though. I don't know if this is true or not.
That's what we've been doing. We've all gained the COVID-19.
Yeah, we have. And all right, so we've got family as a big one. We've got appreciation, stressing, kindness, health, worship, joy. I'm going to move us to the next question here. So you can answer several times. I think I set it up for you to be able to answer, but what will you be doing with your employees this holiday? A, if you text in A, it'll say in person. B, virtual event. C, send a gift card. Or oops, I forgot to plan anything at all, which could happen. Oh, we got a oops, I forgot to plan. Good thing you showed up today. This is just for you, whoever that person is. They got the email that said we better do this and thought, oh, I better show up or find out what to do. So hopefully you'll walk away with some good ideas. All right. Good. Well, let's jump in right away with some content here. And Tommy, I think we're going to have you go first. See if we do this the way I commit. Oh, we're going to talk about this first. So one of the things we talk about, and liking what you guys said from a standpoint of themes, as I was getting ready for this presentation, really the big theme that came out was about connecting with people. And what I loved is I saw this series of phrases that says, think caring, think cozy, think creative. Ways to really be intimate, and it makes a difference, and people know that it matters, whether it's personalized gift cards. I actually heard an agency the other day sent out a survey to all their employees, and in the survey, one of the questions was, what's your favorite cocktail, actually? And so that principal went out and bought a package for each employee that was exactly what they liked from a standpoint of a cocktail. And then the next week, he delivered it to all their homes. And then the next week, they had a virtual happy hour, so everybody had their cocktail for that event. I thought that was a really nice, intimate, thoughtful way of participating with people and engaging from that standpoint. So Tommy, let's have you kind of kick off first and tell us a little bit about what plans you have or are doing with your team over the course of the next few weeks.
Okay, sure. I actually kind of want to back up a little bit to the Thanksgiving, which is really kind of when the holiday season gets kicked off. And something that I learned from you, Mara, we do during November every year, gratitudes, and I'll put names in a hat of all my employees and pull them out and match them up, and then let them know that they're supposed to text, email, call, talk every day during November to share 3 things that they're grateful for. And I almost forgot it this year. It was like the day before, and one of my employees said, "Are we going to do gratitudes again?" So it's something they really like. You know, there's even during this year when things have been so terrible and just topsy-turvy that it's, you know, we can still find things to be grateful for at work and in our home lives as well. We had planned on a company Christmas party, which we do every year. And this year, I had to play the Grinch and cancel it. It was going to be an in-person event at a venue here in town. And although we're in a rural community, we're not locked down quite the way you might be in the metropolitan areas. We're a little freer to move, but we've been having a spike in COVID cases here. You know, as school started again, the number of cases going up, and we just didn't think it was real good optics for us to be gathering as a group during that time. But I felt really bad about that because it's something that we all look forward to. We all have a good time at it. And I had a budget for it, and so we weren't very far into the planning. So what I did was I had my accounting department say, okay, well, you know, budget was X. I want to divide that by the number of employees and just write them a check for the amount that I was going to spend. It gives them an opportunity, a little cash in their pocket. I mean, it's not much, but it's something to go buy a Christmas present with, spend on their family or whatever, rather than doing absolutely nothing. As we get closer to Christmas, we have a tradition here. Our agency does a lot of insurance in the oil and gas sector. So in the beginning of the year, we email everybody in the company, and they guess what the oil price is going to be at the end of the year. And so we seal all those results in an envelope. They go in our vault. And coming up to Christmas, we have a potluck here at the office. So everybody brings something to eat. We have a lot of candies, a lot of good savory dishes as well. And on Christmas Eve, we close at noon. So right before noon, we get out all the food heated up. At noon, we close the doors, go in the conference room, and remote employees all have cameras on their computers, and so they're all connected to us. We get to visit for a little while. We have lunch together, break bread, and then we'll open the envelope, and we kind of make an event out of it and figure out who's the pessimist of the group and who's the optimist. This year will be interesting as oil prices have not been very good this year. So it'll be interesting to see who wins. And whoever does win, we actually give them $1,000 cash for winning. So it's something fun to do. It's not, you know, real involved or expensive, but it does bring us together as a group. And anytime we have an opportunity to share a meal together, it's good. When I hire people here, one of the things I talk to them is about our culture of being a family. When you come to work and you're here for 8-9 hours a day, sometimes you're spending more time with your coworkers than you are with your actual family at home. So it's important that we have a good, solid family here and can support each other. And so anything that we can do to help our employees during the holidays, to lift spirits and just be together as a family, that's something that's important to us.
Great. Thank you, Tommy. The pessimist might win this year unless you
Yeah,
do the
exactly.
rules for Price is Right, where if they're all over, nobody gets anything, I guess. So
Yeah, right.
I'm thrilled to know you do the gratitudes. We do them too. That's always fun. It's based on the psychology of creating habits over time that you're always looking for stuff to be grateful for. So you focus on those things, and it's one of our fun traditions too as an association. Gerald, tell us a little bit about your team.
You know, when I think about it, we give our associates 3 gifts for the season, and that is connectivity. This is clearly a time where Our workers are spending time with family. They're dealing with children that are doing remote learning. Some are facing scenarios with their elderly parents. And we have to make sure that we're connected with each associate. So we are leveraging the virtual tools to understand where each associate is. And when they have specific needs that we can accommodate as an organization, we care enough to spend the money to make something happen. The second area is gratitude. During a time like this, when people are stressed, we want to make sure in our culture that we're thanking our associates in ways that matter. And believe it or not, it is simply being aware of individual situations so that organizationally we can properly respond. And lastly, we do a number of things that are state auto rituals around Christmas. We have the Christmas Corner. Anybody that's been to Columbus, that is a major event for the whole community. And what we're having to do is make sure that the Christmas Corner has over 800 trees, 80 life-size figures celebrating Christmas. And we're taking that virtually. We also send ornaments. We have virtual holiday parties, lunches, and happy hours. Probably too many happy hours on Fridays. That's supposed to be funny. Anyway, the fact is, we're at a time where millions of Americans are in pain, and we're sympathetic to that. So we leverage our foundation so that our associates can have dollars matched to support those nonprofits that they care about. And we just simply want to make sure that we're doing all that we can in addition to protecting our customers' balance sheets and by simply providing outstanding service.
Great, thank you. And Cindy, tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, similar themes to both Tommy and Gerald, but this has been a year, I think, for all of us of finding the new normal and overcoming obstacles and really making sure that we ask the question, pre-COVID, what would we have done? And post-COVID, or during COVID, how can we still keep those things alive and well? So certainly that kind of triggered our thoughts around the holidays, meaning if everybody was in the office, what would we be doing? Well, how can we replicate that? Just because we're in this virtual world doesn't mean that we still can't have the contest. Some departments decorate their cubicles, and that's turned into log into your weekly touch-in, and we're going to judge your decorations at your home office. So we've really tried to keep people connected around the things they would have been doing. One idea that a department shared was they sent gingerbread house kits out to all the employees, and they all got online and they did a gingerbread house judging online. And then we posted those things on our internal social media. Another area decided to have a happy hour, but it was all around hot chocolate, right? So they were sent mugs with hot chocolate. They got on their weekly touch-ins. So we've really tried to keep those weekly touch-ins just like we would if we were all in the office. And, the new normal for us has been about learning how to normalize what's happening in people's lives. So we're really trying to lean into that. So if a child comes running in a room, we're going to embrace that, and that's okay. Or if a dog is barking in the background, that's your new normal. So the psychology around creating a safe space where people can be themselves in their homes. Don't worry if there's laundry, on your couch in the background. That's what everybody's dealing with. So we also kick off at noon, Tommy, and have a big lunch where we celebrate. And we're going to do that virtually this year, but we're going to just do it in smaller groups. So smaller departments are going to be having their Christmas lunch. That stuff will be sent out to them, and we'll come together. We have we luckily were on Microsoft Teams prior to the pandemic, so we've really been able to leverage Teams and create some creative contests going, create some connection points. There's a channel right now for bad Christmas jokes that everybody all over the country is jumping on and sharing. So again, really trying to leverage these virtual tools to be doing the same things that we would have done. But in true Central fashion, right? a white elephant gift exchange. I don't know of one area that is spending one another this year. 100% people have figured out how we can go out and support the YWCA Angel Tree. How can we, as a team, find a local Salvation Army chapter? It doesn't matter if you're in Ohio or Texas or Boston. Our teams are spread out all over the United States. How can we do our part, take a picture of Standing Kettle and send it into the company team site? So I'm really proud of the resilience of our employees. I'm really proud of the fact that they are not only caring for one another, but they're really caring in a big way for people that certainly aren't as fortunate as all of us are at Central. So
Yeah.
just some ideas that are heavy.
Good. Thank you. Some of the other things I've heard about groups doing some of these virtual wine tasting events, and so that's been fun to see some agencies do. I also, one of my favorite places to order from, it's called the Bro Basket, the BRO Basket, and it's really great gift baskets that can be delivered that include liquor and different things like that. So just throwing out some ideas there. We also, for us, one of the things we did earlier this year, which I could certainly see incorporated into the holidays, is I sent personal cards to everybody on our team with two $50 bills in it. And we said one $50 bill is for you, the other $50 bill is for somebody who needs it more than you.
Wow.
And asked people to share those stories. And it was really powerful. In fact, I think people enjoyed more giving the $50 away than they did using the 50 that they got. I even had some employees that said, I gave both away. And so it was a really nice way to share stories. And so that's one that I'd highly recommend you do in a personal fashion with your staff. This is a spoiler alert for our staff. So if you're on it, I'm sorry, your spoiler alert. We actually ordered gift cards this year from Vanilla Visa. And we actually took Jen Beltran, who does all of our design work, photoshopped a team picture of us together. And so we actually have gift cards ordered and that came in that have all our pictures on the gift card. And so they're going to get that in the mail in the next week for $100. And it's a picture of our staff, so they see everybody on that. So I thought that was a fun thing to sort of share as well. All right, Gerald, let's turn the corner a little bit here. And if you can talk maybe about a couple things as far as clients, agents, and so forth that you might be doing at this time during the holidays.
Sure. Underpinning our support of customers is, again, the state auto culture, where we believe we have to be nimble, responsive, creative, passionate, and driven. And usually at the end of the year, some of my competitors will, slow down and take the time off. We're prepared to do whatever it takes to help our agents win. This is a critical time, and the best gift that we can give them is more new business before they close their books at year end. In addition to that, what we also do is make sure that we're also leveraging the virtual tools to say thank you, and also to listen to specific problems that may come up that we can solve on their behalf. Obviously, like all of my peers in the industry, we've been extraordinarily sensitive to the scenarios that various customers are facing, and where we can offer support, we want to do that. Before, we used to have holiday dinners. Well, guess what? We have holiday virtual dinners, holiday happy hours, but it's all designed to say thank you and designed to position us that we come out the gate running. The thing that's so interesting about a time like this is that agents understand who their partners are at a time of crisis. And as long as we're responding in a consistent way, we believe that we're going to continue on the growth path that we've been on.
Great. Thank you, Gerald. Cindy, how about you? What all are you doing with clients and agents?
Yeah, really from the get-go, when the pandemic started, we had two operating principles. Number one, it was keeping our team safe and continuing to fulfill the promise. And one of the ways that we partnered with our agency partners early on was we distributed a bunch of PPE to our agents that they could then give away to small businesses within their communities. So we've continued to do that type of thing throughout the pandemic. Another thing that we've done is, again, kind of leaning into, where is their heart? And independent agents, you have some of the biggest hearts in the entire world. And so we've partnered with them on some of their giving, if you will, within their communities. Had an opportunity to travel up to Michigan and help load a bunch of donated food on 2 semi-trailers. We did that with an agency. So we're finding ways to partner with our agents on some of their giving activities around the country. And again, that I would hearken that back to, but that isn't anything new for us, right? It was a way of, how do we keep that stuff going?
Yeah.
How can we keep that stuff going? So that's certainly what we've tried to do in the holiday season.
Great. Good. Tommy, what about you and your community for your customers? And we'll talk about community in a minute, sort of general, but as far as your actual clients.
Sure. In the past, we have taken, our client list and sorted it, and for the, I guess, the top accounts of our clients, we've sent out gift baskets, and that gets a little pricey if you're sending out tons of those. This year, we're doing a lot of Christmas cards that are hand signed by their account manager or the salesperson, whoever has that relationship with the client. Sign those and write their notes in them. We've got a couple of clients who are charitable to some extent. And in fact, I've got several employees this morning who are not in the office. They've gone to this client's facility. It's a child care facility. They have a number of child care facilities up in Wichita Falls, which is about 60 miles from where I am. And they cater to low-income working parents that have trouble. Child care gets very expensive, so this place caters to that clientele. And they also recognize that a lot of those parents don't have a lot of funds for Christmas presents, so they take donations of toys and that sort of thing. And they needed help just wrapping those presents. So I've got 4 or 5 people from my staff that are up there wrapping toys for these kids. I think next week I've got several going to a facility here in town that's similar. It's a child advocacy center that's one of our clients, and they do a similar thing, and they collect toys for low-income parents or single parents that won't have a Christmas otherwise. And so some of my employees are going there to wrap presents. I don't do that because they really wouldn't want me wrapping them. That's not one of my gifts.
I saw my husband wrap a present the other day, so I totally understand.
I'm happy to let my ladies in the office that have a knack for that do that for my clients.
Good, great. I have heard there's a company out there that's actually hosting concerts right now that are virtual concerts for their agents, which sounds real. I mean, there's big names that have shown up for that. That they've invested in sort of an intimate evening, instead of the full band, it's a couple, of the key singers that are hosting that. So those are some ideas that we see as well, where you might have a local singer and set it up for your clients to join in to enjoy that. So I found a site online the other day about virtual events that some of them are free and some you pay for, but they're amazing. Like go and tour Notre Dame, Notre Dame Cathedral, go and do a trip through Israel and Bethlehem and everything. And so just some interesting things out there that I think you can find to get people to participate in as well. All right, so I love the idea of helping the community overall. We know right now with COVID, there's a lot of people hurting out there. It still kind of blows my mind that the Dow looks so strong, and yet we have so many people unemployed. And food lines and food banks are strapped like crazy, and they need as much resource as possible. I will comment on this. If you have not read the book, The Dream Manager, it's one of my favorite books. I know Tommy's read it with some of our programming. It's one that talks about how important it is to continue dreaming in your life, regardless of how where you are from a standpoint of life. So if you're looking for a good book for your employees to read that really gets people thinking about, what am I dreaming about? Am I good at practicing dreaming? I think our communities need that dream element right now to help us with that. So it's an excellent book. It's called The Dream Manager. So, Cindy, I'll let you kick this one off for community. I know you mentioned a couple things. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, as an organization, as a corporation, one of the things that we do every year is we do a called a Central Cares campaign where employees donate money and Central will match, and then we take that money and there's a cross-functional group of people that decides how we're going to use that money where we see need within the community at Christmas. And so this year we exceeded, it was our highest level of giving that we've ever had from our employees, which was just fantastic. So we were able to match that. And the three areas that we focused on were filling up the area food banks, of course, locally here. We also worked with our social services agencies on families that have the greatest need in the community. And we were able to help, I think, 160 families in our community, which is fantastic. And then the other thing that we thought was, we're going to be having a Christmas lunch together. How do we provide a Christmas meal, which we've never done in the community? For those of you who know us, we also have, as part of our company, a golf course that has a restaurant. So working with the Salvation, we are donating 300 Christmas meals to families that those social services agencies have indicated have that need. So again, just a really good way of giving back to the community. And then hot off the press, you guys are the first ones to hear it. Our downtown in Van Wert. Van Wert is a small community where we're located. County, maybe 25,000 people. Within the city proper, probably 15,000. And we're blessed to have something called the Van Wert County Foundation, and of which I'm a trustee of that, as is our former president, Bill Promort. And we've purchased as a foundation about 40 properties in our downtown area. And Central will be announcing shortly that we're going to become a major investor in that downtown revitalization effort. So
Nice.
again, putting our good fortune to its best and highest use for others is something that's important to us. So that's going to be a really fun thing to share with the community here pretty soon.
Good. Great. That's wonderful to hear. That's, many of you who've talked to me in the past have said, Marit, why did you decide to end up in this industry? And I've always said it's because I think independent agents and the system is so philanthropic and really cares about its community. And that's one of the things I love most about the group of people that we surround ourselves with every day. Tommy, tell me a little bit about your community. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Sure. Cindy, like you, we have a program called Brian Cares. What that is we allow each of our employees to take a full day, 8 hours with pay, to volunteer in the community, whatever's important to them. So we do that throughout the year, and they get that day each quarter. So there's 4 days that they're allowed to go out and volunteer, whether it's Meals on Wheels or our Daily Bread, which is kind of a soup kitchen type deal. During the holidays, and I think you mentioned this as well, Cindy, we are so blessed, and we used to do the white elephant Christmas, or draw names out of a hat and exchange with a coworker. And one of our employees years ago made that comment, said, why are we exchanging gifts to each other? Let's pick somebody out there or some cause that needs the money more than us. I mean, let's do something good. And so we've been doing that ever since. And we will vote as a company. All the employees vote on what they want to give their money for. And so we will pool that money and then do something good with it. One year we adopted a Angel Tree family and just showered them with gifts and food and presents and stuff for Christmas, just to make it special for them. We participated in coat drives, all kinds of things. Recently, around Thanksgiving, we did it kind of as a group. So we had 2 groups, a group of employees in the morning and a group in the afternoon that spent several hours at our, it's called the Crisis Center. And it helps battered women and families that are in crisis. There's also a food bank that goes along with it, and a clothes closet. And so as a group, we went up there and helped stock the shelves. We helped pass out some of the food to people that were coming in looking for some food, as well as free turkeys because it was around Thanksgiving. And that kind of helps build community also within the employees because they're doing something together. It's not work related. It's something good for the community, and it makes you all feel good. So we really enjoy giving back to our community. And we've got several remote employees. I've got one in Lubbock, one in Dallas-Fort Worth area, one down in Ballinger, and they also will volunteer in their local community. So it's not just a Graham giving back. It's wherever you are. Give back to your community because it's important. As a independent agent, it's about those relationships, and it's about people helping people. And so it's very good when you can support that and help give that back, and that makes us all feel good.
Great. Thank you, Tommy. And Gerald, I'll let you wrap up some other ideas for the community. I know you
Okay,
have
fair enough.
them.
One of the things that our CEO, Mike LaRocco, has done is that he is having regular communications with all employees, affirming our commitment to the communities where we work and live. And certainly we leverage all of our resources so that we can support associate choices and supporting either through time or money those nonprofits that will help that community. The key message for us is resiliency, making sure that our communities are resilient, making sure that we're offering support to a broader community. Independent agents associations are part of the community. And we want to make sure that at a time like this, we're serving them in a way that's going to help, including making sure that we're offering proper PAC support and things like that, because the legislative landscape will change in certain ways. We have to understand where it's going to lead and make sure that we are aligning our efforts so that the insurance community can continue serving in a way that's going to be meaningful for the customers. When I think of community, I get a kick out of saying this. Our business is a contact sport. And we want to make sure that we're making regular contact with those and supporting those that can make a difference in the lives, again, in the communities in which we work and live.
Great, thank you. Well, thank you all of you for your ideas. We're going to hear a little bit from our attendees today. What I'd love for you all to do, is text in what you will be doing this holiday season. Maybe some ideas you heard today. You can do this in a phrase standpoint, an idea that you picked up that you want to incorporate. For us, it does remind me we have not quite put together a community event for the association. We in years past have done some fun live auctions where people bring in whatever they want and then we all compete to buy it from each other. And have done a good job of raising that, and then usually the association matches it. So that we're able to then go and actually do something effectively with it. And we've also supported food banks and done volunteer stuff and coat drives and things like that. So I think they're all things to remember and look around from a standpoint of what else we could do. So I love this one: mailing letters to nursing home, to retirement homes, donate gifts and Christmas meals to the needy, sending handwritten thank you notes. Yeah, I think that's important. Good, I like this one: a virtual ugly Christmas party, ugly sweater Christmas party. We all could use those. Donate time and money to a maternity home. Good, so we've got a few different ideas coming in. I hope this has been a helpful workshop for you. We'll actually post these out later so that people can see them as they continue to come in. I want to thank you guys for being part of today. I also want to remind everybody that you have to take care of yourself too. So, take the time to mentally prepare. Think about what type of choices you need to make for yourself and your team and your family. Learn how to respond to feeling overwhelmed. And we talk about it as a staff. Every once in a while, I have a cathartic moment where people will say, I'm just overwhelmed. It's too much. We actually changed our first Friday of the month here to be in the mornings. It's a leadership workshop for a couple hours. Then it's a staff meeting from like 11 to 1. And then in the afternoon, we take rotations of people taking time off purposefully to connect with each other and take time to regroup, because working from home all day, every day is a grind, which is very different than anything else. All right, so if you are thinking about being overwhelmed, we actually do have a program next week, which I'll send out, that Elite Texas is sponsoring. That's finding the mental reset button to move past 2020. So if you're interested in some of that, we'll pass that along and you can RSVP to that. And for me, I think about our takeaways today. It's really about being thoughtful, about being creative and connecting with people and taking those moments that are intimate and specialized and not too generic. And I think it would be true, I think, to say we get more when we give. And that's true for us, I think, and for our families. And remember what kind of joy you can engage your employees in giving back to others and so forth. So um, I'll, I think we'll wrap up here, Tommy. I'll grab a takeaway from each of you, and then I just want two things I want to mention before we wrap up. Takeaway you're taking away from today?
I hate it when you pick me first.
I know, I'm sorry.
I think the biggest takeaway is we're all experiencing a very difficult year, and there's all kinds of good ideas out there that we've all shared. Both Gerald and Cindy have some great ideas out there. I just think it's important. The biggest takeaway I think I have is to be purposeful. Think about the community. Think about the people. It may be difficult on us, but there's always somebody out there that it's harder on. It's having a worse time. So, just think about those people and what can you do to help them?
Yep, thank you. Cindy, how about you?
I think at our core, we're a relationship business, right? It's who we are. It's why we all love our industry, and it's about finding those ways in a world where something's out of our control to really still lean into the importance of relationships. And then, I think, Gerald, you mentioned it too. It's about resilience, and as leaders, making sure that we're showing that we're resilient, but we're also still open and empathetic to people that are struggling, and allowing people to have a meltdown or take some time off because today is just too much. So those are mine.
Thank you, Cindy. And Gerald?
Yeah, this is clearly a time for family. This is a time for family within our families, within our industry, and it's also a time for healing. And we have to have serious discussions in 2021 unresolved from this year. And I think it all starts with listening. We have to listen. We have to consider different points of view, and we have to honor each other at every opportunity.
Great. Thank you. The great words from all of you. And thank you again so much for participating. It's always fun to see all of you and hear your ideas. And next month for Mornings with Marit, we actually will have a lady named Cheryl McCreary joining us. She's a brand specialist in helping you with your presence and thinking about how, as leaders, it's not just about how you speak and talk, but actually also how you present yourself on camera in the future, and that this will be something that's gotten to be sharpened up going into the future as leaders. So I hope you'll join us for that. We'll make sure that you can register. And then for those of you who don't know yet, we are going to a virtual Joe Vincent. There will be 3 mornings in February, 1, 2, 3, go Joe, from 10 to 11. Each morning we'll be having some major keynote speakers. We'll have a futurist who's fantastic. We're going to have a psychologist helping people think through how to handle 21 with your staff. And then we're looking at a sales leadership program on the 3rd morning. It will be free to our agents. So if you've never come before, please participate, because we bring in some fantastic speakers and the caliber is amazing. And I want to thank our lead underwriters at IAT for helping make that event happen. So with that, everyone have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for joining us. Get us on Facebook, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all those fun things. Stay safe, stay connected, and have a great day. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.